Hi everyone, it's Heidi Smith here from Flutter by Heidi, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the United Kingdom. And today I'm using a stamp set that I probably wouldn't have chosen originally, but it came with a virtual retreat I took part in, and actually it's a fantastically useful stamp set. You've got this lovely wood grain frame and then these super images and these lovely little teeny tiny sentiments, which are just perfect if you're making a little treat. But the flowers are absolutely beautiful and the leaves and go together really well. So that's the stamp set I'm going to use, and I'm going to be doing a bit of origami, or kind of pseudo origami. What I've made is, it's a while since I've done Ferrero Friday, but we've got a little origami kind of Ferrero treat holder. Now I'm going to show you two ways to make these. I've made these in Whisper White, and because it's card, I'm going to show you how to do it using a trimmer, so cutting and scoring, and then I'm going to show you how to make them using traditional origami methods. This is using 6x6 paper. You can see makes a really big, great size to put all sorts of things in. This one's a 4x4, and I tend to use 6x6 and 4x4 if I'm doing paper, because you don't get any wastage. You can obviously do a 5x5 somewhere in between, but you know, if you're either wasting quite a bit of card, if you're using sort of A4 paper, or you're sort of wasting that 2-inch strip on the edge of your DSP, and I always think that's a shame. So as you can see, this is just using retired paper, and I'm just showing you that it doesn't have to all be the same pattern. So I mean, obviously you could make one out of a single sheet of A4 of 12x12, and you'd have an extra 6x6 left over. But you can also just use single sheets, which if you've got some 6x6 papers, great fun. And they're perfect for kind of Christmas. So these ones have been designed obviously for just of summer. I pop them out, you might just have a few nibbles in there for a barbecue, and you can just throw them away afterwards. But at Christmas they're perfect for adding a few nuts and things, and if you need a few extra dishes for those nibbles. So let's get started. So as I've said, that I'm going to do one, this is just using 3x3 to make this little dinky size. So 3 pieces of 3x3 card, and they are so easy to put together. So you are just going to score at 1.5 on your two sides, and then diagonally you're going to score across the point. So just line those 2 points up, and then across where you're lining up where you've put those 1.5-inch ones. And this, as I say, this is using a trimmer. So this is when if you wanted to use some thicker card or DSP, because you were doing some for kind of Christmas tables or whatever, then I'd recommend this method. But as I said, I'll show you just using the folding method as well, because if you're using a kind of normal, what I would say normal weight DSP, then you can you can just fold it. So this one, and it's so simple. Let's say it's just modular origami, this, and I'm just lining up where those score lines are on the side while I'm whittering away. Although I did say to somebody that I don't think I do too much whittering. Maybe I do. I try and just to get on with it, and I probably speak a little bit quickly for those of you for whom English isn't their first language, maybe. I'm a Midlander, so we speak a little bit on the quick side. Okay. I have to say though, today the winds have died down. I know it's nothing like the hurricanes that you've had in the States recently, but we've had some strong winds for us. So once you've got those done, I want you to score them in half diagonally and just reinforce those creases. And it's those, once they've been folded diagonally, that's where we're going to do our stamping. So rather than Ferrero, so I went for the bumblebee with my Ferrero kind of version, but actually I'm going to do a Raffaello one, which is white and red. So I thought it'd be really nice to perhaps do something a little bit different, a bit of smoky slate and a little bit of Poppy Parade. Add those in, and then probably just a hint of kind of green, maybe. I'll perhaps go back to my soft sea foam. Let's go brighter. Let's stick with the brights. Some granny apple green for the leaves. Okay, so those are my 3 ink pads. As I've said before, I tend to, because I know what I'm like, put my stamps in front of the ink pads I'm going to be using, and then you're going to be good old post-it notes, you know me, do like a post-it note. So Granny Apple Green, I'm just going to add my leaf, a bit of Poppy Parade, and I'm just going to add on to the edge those. So pop that to one side. So you probably want 3 post-it notes. And we're just going to stamp on the 2 sections of this because that's what's going to the other one tucks inside. Okay. And my 3rd one. This was supposed to be out yesterday. I'm behind because my eldest son decided to come and visit, which is lovely. You know, he's on his own, so you know we're part of his support bubble. So that's really nice that you know he comes back and can spend a bit of time with us. You know what it's like when they grow up and grow away. So once you've done those 3 pieces, just take your post-it note off. And actually I'm going to sort of mask a couple of times. There we go. I'll just reuse those post-it notes. Try not to get too much ink over, so I'm going to pop my Poppy Parade away. That's a lovely bright red, the Poppy Parade. And actually, yeah, let's pop the Granny Apple Green away as well. So let's come up with our smoky slate. So I just wanted to add a bit of texture here. I'm actually going to need my 3rd post-it note. There we go. So, and I'm just stamping once in that section. Now we could do it a couple of times. So to actually sort of get more coverage, so you could actually kind of stamp once to the one side and once off to the other side to get more coverage. And this little stamp set sort of gives a lovely water effect. I was trying to find my we did a set of note cards using this, which if you have a look on a post earlier on this week, it was I just showed you the little mini cards, and they do make super little cards. Okay, so let's pop that, and then let's get the post-it notes away. All of a sudden they look a whole lot better. So quite simply, all we're going to do now we've created those is the blank one is going to tuck inside the stamped one, the floral stamped one, and the same on this one. So if you haven't reinforced them already, you can do that now. Just tuck that inside like so, and don't just, you know, you'll sort of tuck it so it's just about, you'll see, just fits in, and then tuck our last one in. You'll think, oh, this is never going to go together. But believe me, when you tuck this last one in, it suddenly becomes really rigid. So just fold it round and tuck that inside. And all of a sudden it becomes it's quite amazing. It just gets a real structure to it. And what I then do is I kind of fold all of these tabs out. And then you can either use a bit of Tombow, as I'm going to use, or some glue dots. You don't have to do this. It will hold in place without, but I just find if you're going to use them for anything over and over, they're actually great for if you're into dressmaking or sewing. Then these are fabulous for putting your little wonder clips in. And then I just do the next layer, so I just fold that one in again and again. And you can see I'm just holding that, just give it a bit of a press on the inside. There's my little Raffaello, which just squeezes in there and I think that actually is so much nicer than my first sample, because I got the stamping the right way around. So there we have a couple of little origami, modular origami boxes for some Ferrero. So there's my Ferrero Friday on a Saturday. So let's show you how to make one with the traditional folding method. So I have got 3 pieces of retired designer series paper here, 6 by 6, and all I'm going to do, this is how simple it is. Good idea to have your bone folder. Mine seems to have wandered off downstairs. So just fold in half, reinforce those creases. Fold, let's clear the decks so you can see. Fold the corner down to the bottom, reinforce. Repeat again, and I find it is easier to open it up and do it rather than trying to make them meet, and reinforce, and then fold that centre point up to the middle. And just do that 3 times. So again, corner to corner. And if you've got your bone folder, which I have clearly not got, that's down to the bottom. And the reason that happens is because what I do is, if I'm trying to be sociable as well as craft, I'll take my stuff downstairs and do a bit of crafting on a small table in the lounge. But what that does mean is that my craft materials do walk a little bit sometimes. So you can see we're just creating that same shape but by folding. And as I said, you can, if you've got paper like this where you've just got some odd bits and pieces left, this is a great way to use it up. If you're not just hoarding it. I'm trying to use up more of my DSP. Because I just think, I just look at it and it's such a shame. It's lovely, and there are certain ones that I do keep ready for particular projects, particularly for scrapbooking. So once you've created them, exactly the same process, just pop one corner into the next one along. So I just tend to repeat. So again, just pop that in as far as it'll go. And then when you come round, you just work out which one you're going to pop in. Pop that in. And then again, all you've got to do is just glue that in place. A couple of dots, and there we have. Actually, I've done that, look, you see. That's what happens with talking. Did it the wrong way round. There we go. And there we have another box. So quick, so easy, great bit of fun. And I say, if you stamp on that end triangle, you'll get your pattern showing on the top, rather than me, where I've got it underneath. So I think these might even stack to make little Christmas trees maybe. I'll see. Maybe I'll be having a play around. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to be kept up to date with what I'm up to, and pop along to my blog. I put the dimensions on there if there are particular cutting and scoring dimensions, and I do really appreciate it when people subscribe. So thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.